Hey everybody, this is Mr. Gus from Brevard County 4-H. It is so good to be with you, and I'm so excited to be cooking in the kitchen with you. I have the fabulous recipe I want you to try. It's one that I recently found, and it's about Salsa Verde, or a green tomatillo salsa. You guys are gonna love it. And one of the most important things is it's nutritious. Okay, let me show you my plate, okay? We're actually going to be using mostly fruits and vegetables today, but if you take this salsa and put it on eggs or meat or fish, it would be good. Or if you wanted to include some of your dairy and your grains, you could have it on some nachos with some corn chips and some cheddar cheese, or put it on a tortilla, and you'd get everything you needed in a full meal using this Salsa Verde, okay? Let me put this away and show you some of the ingredients we're going to use today. We're going to use jalapeno peppers and poblano peppers, okay? We're going to use tomatoes. I've used it with and without tomatoes in the past. We're going to use a medium-sized white onion. It could be a red onion, but that's just what I happen to have in the fridge. We're going to use tomatillos. These are the star of the show, okay? They come with a husk, and we're going to peel this in a minute. But that's what they look like. If you're wondering and hurrying to write down this recipe, you don't need to, because in this description of this video, I'm going to include a blog to the recipe. We're also going to use some citrus. And I could have used lemon juice or lime juice, but I happen to have this blood orange in the fridge, and I've never done it with that. So that's what I'm going to try today. We also have a little bit of sweetener. We could use natural honey, but I'm going to use stevia today, a Truvia brand of stevia. And we're also going to use garlic and olive oil, salt and pepper, real simple ingredients that don't cost very much money at all. Okay, let's start to prepare the stuff. Hey everybody, I just finished washing my hands because we are going to start cutting up vegetables, and we're going to put them on this platter here. Let me tell you about some of the hardware we're using here. This is my little waste bin that I don't have to keep running to the garbage with. I have a cutting board and a sharp, clean knife. I have a broiling tray. We're going to do this in the oven today. I have some tongs because we're going to be handling hot vegetables. I have a spatula just in case. I have a knife, fork, and spoon, and some measuring spoons. And then when we're done, we need to put this in something so that it can be refrigerated. And I happen to grab a couple of mason jars out of the pantry. Okay, let's get started. First, the star of the show is our tomatillos. These have been cleaned and rinsed and wiped off. And this one has a little blemish, so we're going to cut that blemish off. Okay, and put it on the tray. And the rest of these are ready to go on, and we're just going to put them on whole. So what we're going to do, we're going to broil these for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to pull them out of the oven, turn them on, and then we're going to broil them again. So we have our poblano, that's ready to go. I'm only going to do one jalapeno today, because if you do too many jalapenos, you will burn your mouth and nobody will want to eat it, maybe even you. Okay, what I've done is I've actually taken a jalapeno and I've seeded it like this. No seeds, no veins in it. When you do this, you got to make sure and wash your hands after you do it, so you don't touch your eyes or your mouth anywhere on your body, or it will really burn. Okay, we have a couple of tomatoes we're going to put in. This tray is just barely big enough, but jalapeno's done, and we're going to take this onion, we're going to prepare that, and after I peel it, actually I'm just going to cut it like that so it'll peel easier. And I don't know if I'm going to use all of this onion. You know, that's what I love about cooking is chemistry in the kitchen. And it's a little bit different every time you do it. And you can express yourself by making things sweeter. I was going to say slimier, but not slimier. Sweeter or more savory. Every time you do it, you can experiment. And nobody cares but you. If it doesn't turn out right, that's okay. Don't do it again. But anyway, We may not use all that onion, but if we need it, it is certainly there for us to use. Do we have everything we need to broil? I told you I have this blood orange. I'm gonna try that. I've never done it. I've never read any recipe about it, but lemon and lime is common, but I've never used blood orange, but who's to say we can't do it? Okay, the rest of the ingredients, we have to put our garlic in there. I have these already pre-peeled cloves of garlic, and I'm gonna put those on the tray, but what we could have done is to the blender next time, or at the end of this, we could have added minced garlic. Okay, I think we are ready to turn on the broiler and let that do its thing. Okay, all of our vegetables are ready and they're on this heat-proof platter with foil. The foil just helps to clean up. Now make sure you get help with your oven because broiling, the broiler setting is kind of dangerous and you absolutely need a parent's help with this. So our oven, sometimes you need to leave the door open, sometimes not, but the heat is going to come from the top. So I'm going to put this right next to the heat on the top shelf. Slide it in there carefully. Leave the oven door cracked a little bit and then set my timer for 5 minutes. And then as soon as that dings, I'm going to look at it, but I'm going to keep my eye on it while it's cooking, okay? And then in about 5 minutes, we'll pull it out, flip them, and then do it again. Okay, guys, let's check it. The timer just went off, and I've been watching it a little bit too. So let's see how things are. Oh my goodness gracious. Look, it's starting to char up really good. We want to make sure that we have something to pull this out with that will protect our hands and also protect the surfaces, the surface that we're working on. See, I put these little hot pads under it. Now what we're going to do is just take our tongs and flip these over and put them back in for another 5 to 7 minutes. When I did this before, when I wrote that story, that blog, I actually did this at home on my gas grill. But I have seen people doing it on a gas cooktop, and I've seen people do it with a propane torch. I'm not endorsing that. But anyway, you can get these charred up. A charcoal grill, that'd be great. So I think we're all flipped. Oh, this one here, yep. We're all flipped, and so now all we need to do is put them back in for another 5 minutes or so. Ready? Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, everybody, I wish we had smell-o-vision because it smells so good right now. I'm gonna pull this out, being very careful not to burn myself or ruin anything. And pull this out, put it on a hot prepared surface, and I wanna make sure and turn off my broiler, which is good, and I will see you in a minute, and we will put this in the food processor. Okay, we're back, guys, and while the stuff was in the oven, I did a few preparations of stuff we're gonna need. I have a little bitty blender, and you know what, you could use a food processor. This is a food processor, but it's a little bitty one. It's probably half the size of a normal one. But it works, and I've also done it in a blender. And you know what, if you didn't have a food processor or a blender, you could just cut it all up by hand and put it in a bowl and mix it all together. Since this is a little bitty guy, we are gonna do half portions, okay? So I got some of my stuff ready already, and I got my salt and pepper pre-mixed, pre-measured. I just used a 1/4 teaspoon. I've got a tablespoon of olive oil, and we're gonna put in half a pack of Truvia. You know what, since we're doing 2 batches, I may put a little bit of honey in one and a little bit of Truvia in another, stevia, Truvia. Or, you know what, you can skip the sweetener altogether if you want, okay? So let's get things going. I'm gonna take the lid off this, and I wanna point out that usually these have a safety latch, so this will not turn on unless this is clicked in, okay? So I'm gonna pull it out and put in half my ingredients. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think about 4 tomatillos. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right. Ooh, should we try and blend this now and see what happens? Let's do. Ooh, that's good. I like that. This is working good. Okay, now we're going to put in half our onion. Okay, we're going to put in, oh, we need to cut this tomato. It's not too hot, no. Okay, what else we got? Oh, can't forget our jalapenos. Let's put in half of that little guy and half of this guy already seeded. And oh, we're missing our Mr. Poblano, so we'll put in half of him. Cut that up a bit. Oh, I love poblano peppers. They are so good. They are not very spicy at all, and they add such a nice flavor. They go especially well with eggs. Okay, what are we missing? We're missing the blood orange, right? Okay, I cannot put this whole orange in, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna squeeze it in like that. You know, maybe I can. I've never done this. Oh, look at that. I got most of that stuff. Oh, we can't forget our cilantro either, okay? So we're gonna put in our blood orange, and I already mixed up our cilantro, pre-chopped it. This stuff smells so good. I offered to buy my wife some perfume that smelled like cilantro because it smells so good. Adding our cilantro, and we have a couple of more ingredients that we can't forget. We need our garlic, of course. I'm gonna put in half the garlic, about 2 little bitty cloves. I got a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and pepper, and 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And if the consistency isn't right, I may put a little bit more olive oil in it. We'll just have to see. Let's see what happens, guys. You ready? First on low to get it churning. Then we'll put it on high. Okay, now's a good time to stop it and take my spatula. Oh, it's really good. It's really chunky though. Oh, it looks great from here. Let's pour that into a bowl and see how it looks. Okay, we are back, guys, ready for the big reveal. And I gotta say, I forgot, this is like, I'm not a movie guy, so I get a little nervous, but I forgot to add the sweetener and the xanthan gum. Let me tell you about xanthan gum. Kind of a weird ingredient, but it's a natural ingredient, and you can use it as a thickener. And so in this batch, I'm not gonna use it because I kinda like the natural consistency of the chunky salsa. And I did, while we were off camera, put in half a pack of this Truvia. I do like the sweetness of it, and since I'm doing the whole low carb thing, I didn't use honey, I just used this Truvia stevia sweetener. So let's see what it looks like. We got it opened up, and we're gonna pull this off, and I'm gonna try not to spill, and I guess I should take this thing out. Set it aside, and then put it in. Can you see the consistency of that? It looks really good. Okay, so I'm gonna just make it look like that. Set this aside, and cross your fingers. I hope it's not too hot. I hope it's not too sweet, too sour, too salty. Let's see, I'll tell you. a little bit of heaven. I love the tomatillo. I can't taste the jalapeno as much as I like, but you know what? I'm not very sensitive to jalapeno, and when I like it hot, other people don't like it at all. So this is probably just about right. The poblano comes out. It's really good. I cannot wait to have this on my eggs tomorrow morning. Or you know what? Maybe we'll have pork roast tonight. I could go on that. Or you know what? Maybe I'll just sit down in front of the TV and have some nachos with some queso dip, some corn chips, and some salsa verde. Well, I hope you guys will try this recipe out and let me know how it goes, okay? I want to hear from you. You know our number at the County Extension Office. Signing off, this is Gus Kerner with Brevard County Extension, your University of Florida IFAS 4-H program assistant. Take care.